Hey guys, welcome back to Cooking with Asia and Bean. It's Asia here, and I'm here with a special guest,
Me,
Curlanie. And today we are going to have a bake-off.
Cake off.
So stay tuned. I think we're going to discuss what we're going to be making and the challenge.
So the rules of the game are Asia and I are both gonna bake a cake. She's gonna make her own flavor. I'm gonna make my own flavor, and then at the end we're gonna decide whose is the best.
So first I'm going to come over to Curlanie, okay? What are you making today?
Hello. Today I'm gonna be making an angel food cake with a cookie crunch surprise. Okay. And the first step, we're gonna crack some eggs. We're gonna need 8 eggs. 8. Yeah.
So do you need the whole eggs or?
No, you need only egg white. Only egg white. Do not get any yolk into the egg.
Okay, so show us how to do that.
So you simply crack the egg and just dribble it back and forth like that. Do not get the yolk in, or else the egg won't properly foam up when you whisk it. And you want to do this 8 times.
Okay, well, we'll come back when the eggs are all in there.
Period. So I was cracking the eggs and Asia jinxed me. She said, wow, you did that so good. And then the next and I literally just said, don't get any yolk on the inside. Like, okay,
Trial number
guys.
2.
So that first part never happened. I'm gonna start all over again. The pressure is real.
So Curlanie is gonna show us how to do a very major step in the angel food cake process, which is making like a whipped egg,
Like a meringue.
like a meringue. So you're gonna see how she does that, and when she's done with the egg yolks. So we'll be back 8 egg whites later.
So here we are, 8 egg whites later. We're gonna add a half a teaspoon of cream of tartar. And this is just gonna help our eggs really get nice and fluffy. Just plop that right in there. And now we're gonna whisk until it starts to foam up. And I'll be back when it starts to foam up so you guys can see what it looks like. We are right now, we're almost there. You just wanna whisk it a little bit more. And then we'll be ready for the next step. Okay. So now if you guys look at the egg, we're starting to see like miniature peaks. So now, but we still have like a lot of mixing to do. So we're gonna stop here. We're gonna add our confectioner's sugar, and we're gonna add a half a cup. Now with this recipe, you wanna sift everything. When in doubt, sift. So we're gonna add a half a cup. Just make sure you pack it into the cup so there's no air pockets. I just want to sift it in. Boom. And then we're gonna mix this in and continue until it's at stiff peaks.
So what do you need your preheat oven to be?
So while you're whisking your eggs, it's a good idea to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit.
Not me not knowing how to use the thing. Start. And it's gonna preheat while we're getting ready to finish.
Been mixing for a really long time, and we have almost stiff peaks. They're like soft peaks, which is still fine because the cake is still gonna be really fluffy. So now our next step is we're gonna sift together cake flour and granulated sugar. So now we're gonna mix our dry ingredients. We're gonna add 1 cup of cake flour. We're gonna sift this. And just throw in there 1 cup of granulated sugar. And then just a little tiny bit of salt. You just want to sift this into a separate bowl. What you do is add your dry sifted ingredients to your egg whites a little bit at a time. And you're going to fold it in so as to not deflate the egg white. So we're just going to do about half. Just going to fold it in like so. I'm going to add in the second half of the dry ingredients. Okay, and then just as a last step, we're going to add a splash of vanilla extract. Just a little bit. So now we have our batter completely ready, and we're going to butter and flour up our 8-inch square cake pans. So we're just going to rub the butter on the inside.
And we do this so that the cake doesn't stick.
Buttered and floured all 3 of our pans. So we're going to take our batter and distribute it evenly among the 3 pans. You could just eyeball it. It doesn't have to be exact. Evenly set up, we're gonna put them in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 to 35 minutes, or until when you stick a toothpick or knife or fork in and it comes out clean. All right, Miss Asia, what cake are you baking?
So after much and like long, hard consideration, I decided I would make a red velvet cake. So I have my dry ingredients already measured. I'm going to add and sift 2.5 cups of flour, along with 1.5 cups of sugar, 1 teaspoon of cocoa powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of salt. And we're just gonna sift that like dough did.
Careful, you're getting some on the side of the...
And we'll come back with the wet ingredients next. Disclaimer, this is flour. Okay, so red velvet cake requires buttermilk, but I'm going to show you an alternative to that. So I've already put a tablespoon of white vinegar, distilled vinegar into a cup, and now I'm going to add a little less than a cup of milk to this mixture, and you just let it sit for about 5 minutes and you have buttermilk. Okay, now I'm gonna mix my wet ingredients. I have 1.5 cups of oil. I have the buttermilk that I showed you from last slide. You can see it's kind of like forming kernels and like that kind of stuff. You have your eggs, which is 2 eggs. We put, I guess that's like maybe like a quarter or half a tablespoon of red dye. We're gonna put some vanilla. I'm just gonna like eyeball it, and then we're gonna put a teaspoon of vinegar. Oof, look at that buttermilk. Vinegar combo. And we're gonna mix this together. show the mix. And now I'm going to start adding the dry into the wet.
So it's been about 30 minutes and I'm gonna check to see if it's done. Your best bet is sticking the knife or the fork or whatever down the middle because that's where it takes the longest to cook and it's come out clean. So they're done. Okay, so now these are all out the oven. We're gonna let them chill, and while they're chilling, we're gonna get the icing ready. So while Asia finishes mixing her red velvet cake, you might as well just smack that like button and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Subscribe, because it took us an obscene amount of time to get those eggs beaten. So y'all might as well subscribe, like the video, and add us on Instagram. Our handles will be in the description box.
And add Bianca.
Yeah, her handle will be in the description box too. So yeah, do that. All right, Miss Asia, tell me what you're doing right now.
Like you did, I'm oiling the pan with butter. And I'm gonna add flour, so that the cakes don't stick. So yeah. So now I have my batter ready. My pan's buttered and oiled and floured. So now I'm going to distribute the cake amongst the pans. I don't know, I can't really eyeball it well. And once again, I'm baking this at 350 for about 30 minutes or until the toothpick comes out clean and the cake starts to lift away from the edges. I'm putting them in the oven. Wait, hold on. Okay. Now we work on the icings.
So in this bowl, we have 2 sticks of softened butter at room temperature. So that's just 1 cup of butter. And now we're gonna add 2 packs of cream cheese. So that's 16 ounces of cream cheese. Oh, she thick.
And Curlanie, what kind of frosting will you be using in your cake?
Oh yeah, so I'm actually just gonna be using cream cheese frosting for my angel food cake because I'm just in the mood for cream cheese frosting. And I'm gonna garnish it with some vanilla cookies and Oreos. Yeah.
And as you guys know, red velvet cake usually uses cream cheese frosting, so we're just gonna use the same frosting for both of our cakes and let the best woman win. So now we gotta sift 4 cups of confectioner's sugar. So I'll show you the first cup. Making a mess, but. And then once you add all the sugar, you cream it together. First, I took out the cakes. As you can see, they look red. And this is the frosting. We're gonna put it in the fridge to chill while we wait for the red velvet to cool. Okay, so it was really late when we made these cakes. It was like maybe like 6 in the morning. So we let this cool for a little bit. So now we're gonna take it out of the pan. It's kind of sticking at the bottom. Okay, we got it. Okay, so I'm gonna do layers in between, so I'm gonna start frosting. Okay. The frosting is really thick.
So now for me, I'm going to add the cream cheese frosting to my layers as well, and we'll be back with the final presentations to see who's better. Yeah. Well, okay. So, which of the two would you say was better in terms of presentation?
Presentation-wise, I'd say the red velvet cake.
No.
I would say the red velvet cake, presentation-wise, it looks the most appealing. However, the other cake I like because as far as presentation, I like the cookies on the side. But if I had to choose presentation, I would say red velvet.
Okay. Now, in terms of taste, which one do you think was better?
Taste-wise, they both are very good. However, I would go with the white cake.
Okay. And then in terms of, actually, should we do innovation or no?
What do you mean by innovation?
I don't know because actually no, not innovation. Then I was gonna be like, cause that's more for like if you're doing like a lemon orange mint cake, like some crazy stuff. Yeah.
Well, say those.
All right. So overall, which one would you say was better?
It's a tough call to make, but I would have to say the white cake.
Okay.
The reason why I think it has more texture, like when you're eating it. There's some, obviously cookies, but there's something else that's inside that has some kind of crunch.
It's cookies on the inside too.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, voter number 2. In terms of presentation, which cake do you think had better?
I would go with what is the angel food? I go with that one because
Okay.
What
is that?
It's on my Snapchat. What is that?
Okay, Grandma.
Okay, and in terms
Because
of
the pink cake is not. It doesn't remind me of a red velvet because it's pink, so it doesn't go to the red side. So that's where I wouldn't know that it's what that one is. And I like the little cookies and stuff on the white cake.
okay, and in terms of taste, which cake?
Taste, I thought that the red velvet was lighter, so I go with that one. It was a lighter cake or whatever. The other one that was a little heavier.
Okay, so
But
overall,
tastes good. Both of them taste good.
The angel food was good.
To me.
I thought it was chillier. That's what made it. Is there cream cheese or something in it?
Yeah.
in both of them.
Okay.
So overall, which cake do you think won?
I think the pink.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so you're reporting for voter number 3.
Yes, he's team white cake on both accounts.
Okay, bet. Okay, so we're gonna recap.
Our baking experience, what we could do to make it better, what we did that really helped the cake out. All right, you go first.
All right, so first off, we didn't have a hand mixer. So props to Delaney for whipping those eggs up.
And you did a lot of the work. You did
we
a lot of the work.
whipped the eggs up by hand. It took a really long time. Like you said,
Yes.
18 minutes. It really took like half an hour.
Yes.
But
So if you do this recipe, Get you a hand mixer.
Unless you want to work out.
True.
For my cake specifically, I should have paid more attention to like making adjustments like on hand, because there was a part of the recipe where it said 1 teaspoon of cocoa powder, and it didn't sound right. Like we were talking about it, like it did not sound right. So I added a little bit more, but I should have like went with my instinct and added a lot more, because you could barely. I feel like the chocolate was kind of masked because there wasn't enough cocoa, and then I could have added more red because the red.
Yeah, but that was my
like
fault.
pink.
That was my fault because I thought it was enough. Like it looked vibrant. I think maybe I don't know. Like my vision is fucked up because it looked red, but when it like in that lighting over there, it looked pink. Like I saw the pink that it was.
Yeah. So it just like, I guess like when you're baking, make modifications, and like I was afraid to make a modification because I thought maybe the cake would taste different. But honestly, if it's not flour, if it's not sugar, and like it's something small like cocoa powder, and it's like something that you can adjust.
Yeah. I think just like in general, I mean this was also my fault, but I feel like we should have made the cake earlier on in the day because I felt so bad about making all that noise. I felt really bad about making all that noise.
Yeah, we started making the cakes at like 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And we ended at like 6.
Yeah. So there's that, and then for my cake specifically, with the eggs, like, I mean, I probably should have chosen a different recipe considering like that we didn't have, because it was asking for like super fine sugar, icy sugar, cake flour. So I was like, So I cut some corners, and like I feel like that maybe might have been a little tiny bit like bad for the outcome of the cake. But so there's that. Like I guess consider the circumstances.
And she did good, like, by putting the cake in, I mean, not the cake, the cookie crumble in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
Because I get the texture. So
yeah.
That's like an important, like, if you can make your cake textured. And, like, yeah, so.
I think, okay, low key, I feel like had we would have mixed the cream cheese and the butter together first, and then slowly added in the, because you know how like when you make like the cake and you have to slowly add the dry ingredients. I feel like if we did the same, it wouldn't have been so lumpy, because when I took a bite, I got like a big fat chunk of cream cheese. But
for me personally, like I felt like the icing wasn't bad. Like,
no, it wasn't. Considering that we just went pop, 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 we mixed it together, it was good.
The icing was kind of like, we could have mixed it better, but I think by putting the cookies for her and the nuts for me, it kind of like masked it because you were crunching.
Because you had like texture regardless.
Yeah. But like I think we both did well, and Delaney's our winner for today.
Yes, I am.
Please, like.
But we both did that though. So.
Let us know like what other competitions you want to see in the comments.
Next time we're gonna have Bean.
We're gonna have Bean.
The Bean. Fall for Bean.
We gotta have y'all too.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. But you know what? You know what would be cool if we did like an ice cream thing. Like make your own flavor of ice cream.
Oh my god.
Ice cream is like low-key easy to make though, but that's another video. Y'all gonna have to stick around to see that.
We're either gonna do like, because she hates vegetables, we're either gonna make her a meal and make her like vegetables. Like that's something that's gonna be really hard, but we can do it like or like or maybe like a cook-off or like another bake-off. So just let us know what you want to see, and next time it will probably be like team cooking. So
oh my yes.
So let us know. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Like, tell us down below what you think we could have done better to make the cakes better.
And if you guys decide to do this, like if y'all was doing this with us, let us know how it came out for you, what you did that made the cake.
And also, if you're gonna make, okay, I probably should put this in the beginning, but if you're gonna make the red velvet cake, add more cocoa, add more. Well, it told me to put more red food dye, but I wasn't gonna put two tablespoons, but like
we didn't have 2 tablespoons.
Yeah, we didn't have 2 tablespoons. Like the little red dye doesn't have 2 tablespoons. Yeah. But make sure you add more cocoa if you're gonna make that cake because it needs it. But other than that, it was good. I had fun. So
thank you guys.
Bye.